You know, I don't have too much to say. I do see O'Leary 2K and Don't Miss. They're also receiving votes, so I think those two have great potential to move up on this list. But that's about it.
Shout out to Moody in the chat. Good to see you, my friend. Congrats to congrats and well done to you on the Magic tournament. It was fun listening to somebody else besides Indy and I call a game. Thought you did a great job. So that's centers. Rain, DJ Money, Dietrich, Plo, and Polo. Let's now go to point guard. I need a little bit of a drum roll here. Drum roll. Bam, point guards. Let's check them out. There it is. Our top 5 point guard list already. This is going to definitely make some people in the chat mad, but I actually don't hate this list at all. Spam the unanimous number 1. Greens number 2. MJB number 3. Kenny Zeus number 4. And then Seldom tied at 5. Guys also receiving votes: Claude, Jumper, Unguardable, Antoine Love, Bam, Bougie, The Real Tay, and Fanta Season. I think you'll see some of the guys that have received votes: Claude, Jumper, and Unguardable specifically for me. Bam as well. You can throw Antoine. I guess everybody down there. All of them have been playing very well, but you have to remember, this is a top 5 poll, so you're going to have some big names that are cut out. I like Spam. I like Spam and Greens at the top. I think they've definitely been the best 2 point guards that I've watched. I'm surprised that Seldom is down to 5 and they have MJB over him at 3. I think Seldom has played really, really well this year, but I can understand some GMs wanting to side with the overall talent that MJB brings. But I think the big surprise on this list has to be Kenny Zeus, who, look, I've watched him play a couple times now. I did not know who he was before this year, and Kenny has really impressed me. I'm very impressed by his playmaking, by his shot creation. I'm a fan of having Kenny Zeus in the top 5. What's your initial takes on this, Coach Jay?
You know what? I'm not too surprised about Spam kind of going unanimous. I think I didn't expect it. I'll say that, but it doesn't surprise me. As for your comment, MJB, Seldom, they're lower than I would expect, but I do understand because Seldom has trouble finishing in tournaments, and that's what's kind of hurt him. And would love to see him finish out and win a big championship, like multiple times this season, this pre-draft. So we'll just have to see about that. Also, Antoine Love on the list, Unguardable, as well as Fantasy Season. I think those guys have stood out to me in the past. We'll see if they move up. But yeah, I think it's a really decent list. Just like to see a few changes here and there.
Yeah, I like this list. People in the chat are saying Spam 1A, Greens on B, but unanimous. Nap doesn't know how Greens doesn't get a first place vote. I'll say this. Greens obviously isn't a overall newcomer, but at the same time, I think this has a lot of credence towards what Spam did this offseason during post-draft. I know that Greens played very well as well, but I think if you're a coach or GM and you're trying to list the best point guards in Pro-Am right now, I think having Spam number 1 isn't a huge surprise. I can understand why they all have the same kind of idea off the top of their heads. But Greens being number 2, I mean, I spoke to Dave Fry before the season. He told me that he thought that Greens was going to end up being a top 5 pick this year. If Greens keeps playing like this, he will definitely be a top 5 pick this year. So being number 2 this early with so much more room for him to grow, I think that's a good spot for him. But you know, I know MJB is on this list and Spam is on this list. Both those guys not eligible for the league this year. I believe. I know Spam isn't. I think MJB is in the same boat. But as of right now, Greens, I've been very impressed with him and that whole Eyeball Empire, or that whole Empire Gaming team. So, yeah, I like this point guard list. I like to see Unguardable get a little bit more love, maybe find his way onto this list at some point this year, but he still has a lot of work to do.
Yeah. With Greens, I think he's on a really good squad, but I don't think that it's necessarily Greens itself that got him to that number 2 spot. He has really good help around him, so not to take away from his skill, but I place him probably 3 or 4. But still, on top 5, I think he has a lot of potential to make it to that season 5.
I'm gonna drop something in the chat here, asking people who they think the best point guard is in Pro-Am. Let me get this up here really quick.